appropriate song. Thanks very much. This feels like a little bit of a mini Glastonbury to me, with like the impeccably clean portaloos and the wristbands and like a little mini festival. So I'll do my best to do a Destiny's Child or Beyonce up here, but as much as I look very similar to Beyonce, I'll do my best. First of all, I know I sound like a bit of a broken record because everyone's saying it, but it's a genuine privilege for me to be here with all of you today. Apparently for the first time in my life, I'm a little bit of a celebrity, and a lot of you know who I am, and I don't really know who you are, so we're going to be doing an autograph signing just in that gazebo over there at the end of the day. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's a genuine privilege to be here today because, quite frankly, without you and your fantastic charity, I wouldn't be here today. So some of you know part of my story, and I would like to talk to you and just share with you some of the things I've learned over the past couple of months and over the past 10 years, because it was 10 years ago that one of those bad boys came to save my life on the A14 when I tried to take my own life by walking out in front of a lorry on the A14. Thankfully, your incredible doctors and paramedics saved my life on that day, and I would just like to talk to you and share with you some of the stories that I've learned in the most Beyonce-esque fashion that I can. So, if you didn't already know, last month I ran 10 marathons in 10 consecutive days in 10 different locations across the UK. All in aid of your fantastic charity. I think the final fundraising amount was £7,080, and yeah, it was life-changing. So I've already pledged the full 2,000 miles for Together We Run, so don't worry about that. I'll cover the 2,000 for you. And yeah, so it was a life-changing 10 days, and there was lots of things that we learned, and we did a little motivational blog every single day, and one of the biggest quotes that we took, I think, was from day 5, and whilst I'm taking all the plaudits, Dr. Scott ran the full marathon with me on day 5, all the way through Hilly, Cambridge, and we had a cracking day. And the quote for that day was, "Success in anything is a result of persistent and continuous effort. A stone's broken by the last stroke of the hammer, but that doesn't mean that the first stroke was useless." I love that quote. So I did a little bit of research into life expectancy, and apparently the average life expectancy is 81 years. Thankfully, I'm quite a way off that as yet. And that equivalates to 29,565 days. So if you have a bad 1 or 2 days, 29,000 bad 1 or 2 days, is it really going to impact? I think a lot of the time we get so caught up, and especially Tom alluded to it in the last speech, we get so caught up in these little bad patches that we think are going to be a bad thing, but ultimately the bad patches always end up being the things that build you. So if you are going through a bit of a rough patch, which the whole world has done for the past few days, those little niggly days, those little niggly few little miles that you're going through are actually ultimately going to build you in the end. And even in the preparation up to 10-10-10, we had those days where you go out and you run 20 miles and you feel like you're flying and you feel like you could take over Paula Radcliffe on your day. And then you have the days when you go out and you feel like half a mile feels like a marathon. Yeah, but you still went out and you ran half a mile, and those are little days where you chip away at that stone and you chip those tiny little bits away. Those are the days that matter. The days that you're flying and you get up at 6 o'clock, you go to yoga, you go to spinning, you have a kale smoothie, you take the kids to school, you pack the lunches, you make a stew for dinner, you get to bed early and you get up the next day. Those days don't matter because you're flying through those days. It's the days that you lay until 10:30, miss Lorraine on this morning, have a bowl of Frosties and then crawl back into bed at the end of the day. But you still chipped away, didn't you? And you still got through that day. And I think it's so important, and we learned that through 10-10-10, is that you're still chipping away. No matter how slowly you think you're moving, you are still chipping away. And ultimately, it's the bad days that will make you appreciate the good. So you just keep chipping away on those days. And remember that quote, because it's one of my favourites. Tom also alluded to this slightly. I haven't got a toilet roll to pass between anyone. I haven't got any exciting props, I'm afraid. But the second biggest thing that we learned through 10-10-10 and through the past 10 years is positivity, and it's the most underrated thing in the world is positivity, and it's the thing that makes the most difference, because so many people would say to me after day 3 or day 4 when I was walking like John Wayne everywhere, oh my God, you must be so uncomfortable, you must be in so much pain, you must have, I mean, Barry and Bob the blisters have only just disappeared. I mean, they were big, they were monumental blisters, but so many people saying all these bad things that must be happening, but Yeah, all right. I was in a lot of pain and I was in a bit of discomfort, but I had this community of people supporting me, your fantastic charity included. I had a lovely warm shower to come home to every day. I had a cooked meal put on for me every single night. And every single person kept focusing on these negative things that I might have been experiencing for running 4,000 miles or however long it was. I lost count after day one. And everyone focused on the negatives of it, where I was like, this is incredible. I have just got this little community of people supporting me. And it was always the, oh my God, you're running a marathon. Oh my God, you're mad, you're crazy. No, it's not mad. It's not mad. It's positive and it's uplifting. And this community of people that we created was just the most positive thing. So I think for me, it's just, even though, and yourselves included, will have had some really awful days over the past few months, there will be a positive within it. That somewhere there will be a positive. Some days you have to look harder for it, but there will undoubtedly be a positive in your day, and you have to focus on that one. There may have been 500 bad things happening in your day, but someone might have smiled at you because you opened the door for them, or someone might have let you out in a big long train of traffic. And those tiny little positives, you have to focus on them because they are what will take you on to the next day. And actually, I found as well that if you're having a bad day, it's often not the bad thing that's caused you to have a bad day, it's the way you've reacted to it. So when Barry the Blister was being a bit annoying on day 7,